Hello everyone, welcome to Native Mobile Bits. This is the second part of our fun fact project. This is one Android application and it's written completely in Jetpack Compose. In our previous video, the first part, we have implemented this first screen where we take input from user. We can select one animal of our preference. We can also enter our username and we are storing this data in one UI state, and we have done so many things in the previous part. And in today's part we are going to design this welcome screen. We are going to design some custom composable for this quotation part, and we are also going to implement the navigation with arguments. So whatever the values are entered by user in the name section and the selected animal, we need to pass these value to the second screen, and in the second screen we need to find out the random quotation and we need to show here, right? So let's start today's video. So this is the project which we have developed so far, and if we enter any name here, we select one animal, we see that this button appear, go to details screen, and if we click on this we will just navigate to the welcome screen, right? We need to implement this welcome screen as per the designs. So if I just show you the design, this is the screen which we are going to implement today, this second screen, okay? And we need to pass some data from this first screen like name entered by user or animal selected to the second screen, okay? So let's go back to the navigation graph. We have these composables here. We are getting this data also, like if user enters some data here and click on that button, so we are getting that data inside this lambda so welcome screen. And if I just show you, this so welcome screen is coming when we click on this button component. We are getting the data name entered and animal selected as a pair, okay? So the first thing which we are going to do today is, we are getting this name entered and animal selected. We need to pass these two things to the second screen, okay? So first of all we need to change this route, and to add arguments we need to add this as a complete route string, and we can just take this with the help of dollar symbol inside one curly braces. So to define a argument, first of all we can just add one slash, and inside curly braces we can define something like username if we want to pass a username. If we want to pass the second value animal selected, we can add it like this, okay? But this is not the preferred way, because if we don't use the exact string at the time of receiving the value from the bundle, we will not be able to get it, right? So we can define these string as a constant inside our routes class, and here we are going to define some constant. So we can just say user name, and this will be the name entered by user. So we can just define a string. We can also define in caps lock, and we can just define another one for animal selected. We can just take the same inside the value part of it. Now we have defined these two constants, so we can just use these in place of username. Let's minimize this first. So we are accessing this, so we are going to add this dollar symbol, and we are going to add routes dot name username, this one. And for animal selected also we are going to access with the help of dollar symbol from routes dot animal selected, okay? We have updated our composable path. Now we need to define the argument type and value. So we need to use this arguments parameter, okay? And we can define argument in a list, okay? So we can just use this list of, and we need to use nav argument, this one. We need to define the name, so we can just use routes dot username, and we need to define its type also, that what type of value it will hold. So we can define that it will be of type string, okay, like this. Now we also have one more argument, animal selected, so we can define one another nav argument. We need to define the name first from our routes dot animal selected, and for this also we need to define its type. This also will be of string type. So like this we have defined the updated path and the arguments with the name and type. Now, whenever we will navigate to this, we need to pass these two values. Otherwise, it will throw an error because we don't have this normal route anymore. Okay. So let me show you this. If we run the application and if we click on this button, it will give us one error saying this path does not exist because we have updated the route, right? So we are getting this error that this navigation destination, it does not exist. Okay, it is not found in the navigation graph because in our navigation graph this route, this destination welcome screen is updated with two arguments, username and animal selected. So we need to pass these two to avoid this error. Okay, so we already have these two value, we just need to append in this route. So we just need to update this route, so we just need to append this with one slash, and the first one will be it dot first, and for the second one we need to add like the same way it dot second. So now our destination route is updated as per this composable route. So we want to navigate to the welcome screen and we want to pass these two values, username and animal selected, which we are passing here. Okay, so now if we just run this, it will not give us any error. Let's try to just navigate to the second screen and we can navigate. We are not getting any error now. Now to pass these value inside our welcome screen, first we need to find out these values from the argument, right? And those arguments can we find inside this navback stack entry. So we can just access from it dot arguments dot get string or get integer as per our argument type. So we need to use this string because our navigation argument type is string, and we just need to specify the name of the argument. Okay, and this will give us user name. We can store in one variable. Same way the animal selected argument also we can store in one variable, and we just need to take from it arguments dot get string routes dot animal selected. Okay, and we can just pass this to our welcome screen. We can just add as the parameter username animal selected. Let's add as the parameters, and inside our welcome screen now we will be having these two values. Let's add these two as the dummy value so that we don't get error inside our preview, and we can try to print these values that are we actually getting it or not. Let's add one print statement inside welcome screen, and below this let's print username and animal selected. Let's try to run our application and let's see that are we getting these two values or not. Let's add this inside the locate. Let's enter some value. Click on this. So we can see that we are getting this log inside welcome screen and we are getting the value. These two logs are coming from the user input screen. I think we have added there as well inside the button click. Yes. Now let's go back to our navigation graph, close other tabs. So we can say that our navigation part is done. When we click on this button inside user detail screen, we are able to pass the value to the next screen, and on the next screen we are also getting these two value properly inside our welcome screen. Okay, so now let's start designing this welcome screen further so that it will look similar to our designs. Okay, let's open the designs part. Inside design, the first top part is similar. We can use the previously designed composable, which is, let's open our app components, minimize everything. Let's open the preview. So we have these composables designed already. You can also check out the previous video for the actual implementation when we implemented these. we can utilize some of these inside our welcome screen. Okay, so let's try to update our welcome screen. So inside our surface we are having the text as of now. Let's remove this. Our surface will be having vertical orientation children, that first we will have this heading, then we will have some kind of description and these other components. So we are going to use column composable, and for our column we are going to add some kind of padding. It's similar to the previous screen. So let's open our user input screen first, and we are going to use the same modifier for our column. Like we are going to add one padding here of 18 dp, and it's updated. We can see that we have some padding inside our welcome screen preview. Now the next part is we can use our top bar which we have designed already. This one we only need to pass the value and it will show the highlighted text. So let's use top bar, and in design we have welcome username. Okay, so we can just update this like welcome, and we already have this username coming inside this screen, so we can use that like this, welcome username, and whatever the username will be passed from our previous screen, it will update here. For the emoji part I have the Unicode. We can utilize this and it will update accordingly. And let's see if our screen is updating with the past username from our previous screen. Okay, let's enter Ron, select cat, go to the details screen, and we can see that it's updating welcome Ron as we have inside our design. Okay, the next part is thank you for sharing your data, this text. So we can just check out our user detail screen, that what composable we are using. We are using the text component which we have designed. We just need to pass the text value and text size. Okay, so let's go to our welcome screen, and here let's use text component. We can pass the text value, thank you for sharing your data, and text size we can just give 24 sp. I think we were using 24 sp itself in the previous screen. Yes. Now we need to add some space. So first of all, inside our welcome screen we are going to add one spacer. Okay, and let's use modifier dot size, and let's say we are going to give 60 dp as the space. Okay, so here some space will be appearing now, and then we need to add one more text. Okay, this text is similar, only difference is we need to make sure that we are showing the appropriate value coming from our previous screen. That if user select cat, we need to show you are a cat lover. If user select dog, we need to show you are a dog lover. So let's create one final string of the text first. We are going to say final text, and we are going to add one condition that if animal selected is cat, so we are going to say you are a cat lover, else we need to say you are a dog lover. Okay, and I have the emojis for cat and dog, so I am going to add these Unicode. Now the next part is we need to design one text with some kind of shadow. Okay, so for this we can just go to app components. We can design one composable. Let's call it text with shadow. Okay, and inside this we can just use normal text composable. We need to pass some value for the text, so we can use as a parameter and pass to our text composable parameter. Let's take this to the next line. Let's use font size, maybe 24 sp. Let's use font weight as well, and we can use font weight dot light because our design is having something similar. Okay, now the next part is we need to add some kind of shadow. Now for shadow we need to define one offset, so let's call it shadow offset, and we need to pass x and y coordinate for the shadow. We can pass x equal to 1f and y equal to 2 pointer. You can check out this video also where I explain text and all its attributes in more detail if you are new for text shadows. And then we can use one style. We need to use this text style basically, and inside this we can pass shadow. Okay, and to pass a shadow we need to pass one color, one offset, and blur radius if you want to blur out the shadow, right? So let's say we are going to use color dot green for now. We will write a function to generate one random color every time, but for now we are going to go ahead with green color, and we need to pass the shadow offset, and for blurred radius let's pass 2. Okay, now let's try to utilize this text and let's see in action how the text will look like with the shadow. Text with shadow, and we can pass the value final text. Our preview is updating. Let's see how it looks like. Okay, so we can see the highlighted text with shadow, that it is showing that you are a dog lover, because as of now there is no value passed, so by default it is going inside else case and it is showing you are a dog lover and the dog emoji. Now the next part is, let's write one function which will generate one random color every time for our shadow. So we can create one utility class, and it will be one singleton class itself, and inside this we can write that function. So let's write generate random color, and this function will return one color, this one, and we can just use this return statement. We can create one color, and inside this we can use red, green, blue. It is basically RGB which makes a color, and alpha. So alpha we can just pass 1 because we want the full opacity, we don't want to dim the color which we generate. Now inside red, green, blue we need to pass some random float value, so we can use this class random dot next float, and we can pass the same inside green as well and blue as well. It will give us one random color every time. Now we can utilize this function inside our shadow text. So in place of color dot green we can just write utils dot generate random color. Okay, so every time it will give us a random color and our text will be updated with that random color shadow. So now let's run the application. Oh, one thing I have noticed is we don't have the splash icon. If we click on this, we are getting the default icon. So we'll set the splash also, but first let's check out the shadow. If we click on details screen, we are getting some green. If we enter some other value, we select dog, we are getting again one new color shadow. Okay, so it's fine. So now the one thing I want to do is, let's set the channel logo itself as the splash screen first. So let's close everything. Let's go to build.gradle. We need to add the dependency for splash screen. This is the dependency which we can use. We need to sync our project, and we need to go inside our main activity. Our project is synced, and before set content we need to just use this install splash screen function. This is basically one extension function for our activity, and this is coming out of a splash screen API. This will set up one splash screen based on the theme we define. Okay, so if we just go to Android manifest, we have this theme dot fun facts, right? So this is the normal theme as of now we have. So for our splash screen, we can define one theme. Let's call it splash screen theme, and it will extend from its parent theme dot splash screen. Okay, inside this we can define few items, that what kind of splash screen background we want. So let's say we want color white, so we can define the white color. If we want to specify some icon inside our splash screen, we can just define with the help of splash screen animated icon. And we have the logo, so we can just use the logo itself. And after splash, we can just define the normal theme, so we can utilize this post splash screen theme. And this means that after our splash screen is done, we can just show the normal theme, and we can access this with the help of a style theme dot fun facts. Okay, now we can take this, we can just go back to our Android manifest, and we can define this as the base theme for our main activity. Now let's run the application. So we can see that our channel icon is showing us as the splash screen icon. Let's relaunch the application once again. So if we click on this, we can see that our channel icon is showing up as a splash screen. Okay, now let's close these tabs and let's go back to our welcome screen, which we are implementing as of now. As of now, we have developed this much. Let's open our designs. So the next step is we need to define this quotation composable, and we also need to arrange some kind of data which we need to show inside this composable. Okay, so let's go back to our welcome screen. We need to use the app components, this file where we are defining all the composable. Let's minimize this. Let's create one composable. Let's call it fact composable. This will take one value as the input parameter. Let's create one preview as well for this fact composable. Let's add fact composable preview, and inside this let's use our fact composable with some dummy value. Okay, this is the dummy preview we have as of now. Now inside our fact composable, we are going to use one card because we can feel that a card will be nice here. We can put one text inside one card composable. Okay, so let's use the card composable, and let's use one modifier. We are going to put some padding here. Let's give 32 dp. Why? Because I want to take the full width, but first I want to give padding so that it will not start from the initial point. First the padding will come, then it will take the remaining width. Okay, and then we can just give fill max width. Okay, we also need to make this with the help of rounded corner shape, and we can just give 8 dp. We can also give some elevation for the card, and we can use with card elevation 4 dp here as well. Okay, so our card will have some kind of elevation like this. We can remove this white background because we don't need this. Now for this quotation symbol, I have one image. We can paste that inside driver. Okay, so this is the image we have. To this composable, we can break down like this. We have one image, we have one text, then again we have one image. So we can use one column because all of these composable items are in one vertical fashion, right? So let's use one column composable inside our card. And one thing to note here is this left and right padding is little bit less, top and bottom is more. So we can use 18 dp for start and end, and 24 dp for top and bottom. Okay, so our composable is updating. Inside this we can use one image, and we can just say painter resource r dot driver dot, we can use that quotation image, we can just name it, and it's updating. But at first at the top our image should be rotated, right? So we can use modifier, and with the help of modifier we can use rotate function 180 degree. Okay, so it will rotate accordingly, so it will feel like the starting symbol. Okay, now we need to give some space, so we can use spacer, we can use modifier dot size, let's say 24 dp at the top, and this much only we will give at the bottom. But before that we need to put one text in between, so let's use text with shadow for now. We'll put the value which we are getting inside this composable, and we can just put the same space again below this. Okay, and we can just put the same image we have with the help of same drawable. So let's use the same value here itself. This time we are not going to rotate because this is the ending symbol. Okay, so this is going to be our card. Now let's try to use this fact composable inside our welcome screen. So we have this text with shadow, but do we have any space? We don't. As of now, let's try to go ahead directly with fact composable. Now we need some kind of fact to show here. Here is the first fact. Okay, so it's updating. See, the moment we try to change it, shadow is also updating, right? This is called recomposition. We have covered this concept also, but I was changing the text just to show you that our value is updating, right? Our shadow value is updating. That's fine, but first we need to create some kind of data source, right? So let's create one view model, and we will use that to keep all the facts we have there. So let's create facts view model, one class. We will extend it with view model. Okay, now inside our fact view model I will put two function, one for dog facts, one for cat facts. So these are some of the dummy fact. We have one function get dog facts, this is returning list of a string. We have one function get cat facts, this is returning list of cat facts. Okay, now we are going to create one function generate random fact, and we just need to pass the selected animal. Okay, based on selected animal, this will give us one random fact, one string it will return, and inside this we need to write the logic to find out based on this selected animal. So now from these two functions get dog facts and get cat facts, we need to find out one random fact based on the selected animal. So if selected animal is dog, so we will do something like get dog facts dot random, else we will just take one random fact from get cat function. Okay, and we will return this random quotation. Okay, now we can utilize this function inside our welcome screen. Let's close all the files. Now inside our welcome screen we can just create one instance of that facts view model. We can also use dagger and hilt, and we can inject at the runtime, but for now we are just creating one view model instance. So we can just create facts view model, and we can use this composable function. It will give us one instance of the facts view model. Now we need to use this our fact composable. Now we can remove this dummy value. We can just take this to the next line. Now inside value we can just use facts view model dot generate random fact, and we can pass animal selected. This value will not be null because we are sure that either we will be having cat or dog selected when we come to this screen. So now let's try to run our application and our code should update. So we can enter a name, we can select one animal, we can go to details screen, and we can see that our screen is looking as similar we have in our designs. We are getting the data based on the selected animal. We are getting one quotation as well. If we just go back, we can enter some another name. We can select dog this time. We can go to details screen, and we are seeing that we have all the data related to dog animal. So that's it, friends. This is the fun facts application which we have developed with the help of Jetpack Compose. If you enjoyed this project, please like, share and subscribe to our channel. I will see you very soon with one another interesting project.